God's midnight message to you. The silence of midnight. My child, the midnight hour carries a sacred stillness. While the world sleeps, I watch over you. The darkness may seem heavy, but in this silence, my voice becomes clearer. Do not fear the shadows, for I am the light that cannot be extinguished. When the clock strikes 12, know that it is not only the beginning of a new day, but also the reminder that my mercies are new every morning. Midnight is not the end. It is the doorway to renewal. I am near in your loneliness. I see the thoughts that stir in your heart when all others have gone to rest. The burdens, the doubts, the unanswered questions. I know them all. You may feel alone, but I whisper to you, I am nearer than your breath. Even when tears fall on your pillow, remember that I collect every tear, and none are wasted. Loneliness is not emptiness when you let me fill it. Midnight is the hour of prayer. Do you know why I wake your spirit in the quiet hours? Because in this stillness, heaven bends low to hear you. The midnight hour has been a time of deliverance, of chains breaking, of songs rising in the darkness. Just as Paul and Silas prayed and sang at midnight, and the prison doors opened, so too will I open doors for you. When you pray at this hour, you touch mysteries that cannot be revealed in the noise of the day. I am your shield in the darkness. The night may remind you of fear, uncertainty, or danger. But I say to you, do not fear the terror of the night, for I am your refuge. My angels surround you even now. Though darkness covers the earth, my light covers your soul. Trust me as your shield. The battles you cannot see, I am already fighting for you. Rest, for your safety is in my hands. Midnight is the turning point. Beloved, remember this. Every midnight is the transition from old to new. The struggles of yesterday cannot bind you, for I give you a fresh beginning. I make all things new. Release the failures of the past day, forgive yourself, and forgive others. At midnight, I write a new page in the book of your life. Walk forward without fear, for what lies ahead is filled with my promises. My promise for you tonight. Here is my word for you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. When you rise tomorrow, know that I go before you. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you feel weak, my strength will uphold you. At midnight, I remind you of my covenant, a love that is eternal, a grace that never runs out, and a hope that shines even in the darkest hour. Rest in my presence. Now, as the midnight hour deepens, lay your worries down. Surrender the weight you carry, for I long to give you peace. Sleep in the assurance that I am watching over you. Tomorrow will bring its challenges, but tonight you rest under the shadow of my wings. Let your heart be still, for I am God. Final blessing. At midnight, my beloved, know this. I see you, I hear you, I love you. The night is not your enemy. It is my canvas to paint hope, healing, and renewal in your soul. Midnight has always carried a certain mystery. The world grows quiet, the streets fall still, and even the air seems to move differently. For some, it is simply the turning of another hour, but for me, midnight has become a sacred time. It is the moment when God chooses to whisper to my heart in ways so gentle yet so powerful that they leave an imprint on my soul. I remember one particular night when sleep felt far away. My mind was restless, tangled with worries about the future and regrets from the past. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering why life had felt so heavy lately. The clock ticked past 12, and the silence around me grew thick. Just when the weight of my own thoughts felt unbearable, I sensed something different, something softer. almost like the brushing of wind against my spirit. It wasn't thunderous or demanding. It was a whisper. "Be still. I am here." The words didn't come through my ears. They came through my heart. In that whisper, there was no condemnation, no reminder of my failures, only peace. It was as though God Himself had leaned close to remind me that I was not forgotten. That whisper carried more strength than any loud proclamation because it spoke directly to the part of me that had been yearning for comfort. Midnight is a vulnerable hour. It strips us of our daily distractions and forces us into honesty with ourselves. And yet, it is in that raw quietness that God often chooses to speak. His whispers are not meant to startle but to heal, not to overwhelm but to reassure. That night, His whisper was like a balm poured over a weary soul. I began to breathe differently, slower, calmer. My worries did not vanish instantly, but they were no longer in control. God's whisper reminded me that life was not mine to carry alone. He knew my anxieties, my mistakes, my longing for direction. And still, He came near, not with a shout, but with a whisper. The more I reflected, the more I realized that whispers require closeness. You cannot hear someone whisper unless they are near. In that midnight moment, God wasn't far away. He was close enough to quiet my storm, close enough to let me feel His presence. His whisper was a reminder of His nearness, His tenderness, and His patience. Sometimes we expect God to move in dramatic ways, a booming voice, a miraculous sign, or a sudden solution to our problems. But more often than not, He chooses the whisper. He waits until midnight, when the world has hushed, to lean in and speak to the hidden corners of our hearts. It is in those moments that we realize He doesn't need to raise His voice to be heard. His whisper carries eternal weight. Since that night, I have come to cherish the quiet hours. Midnight has become my meeting place with God. I no longer see sleepless nights as burdens, but as invitations. When the noise of the day fades and my heart is open, I listen. Sometimes His whisper brings comfort, sometimes conviction, and sometimes direction. But it always brings life. God's whisper at midnight taught me that He is not distant. He is a Father who draws near, a shepherd who gently calls, and a friend who stays. His whisper reminds me that even in the darkest hours, His light is present. Even when I feel unseen, I am fully known. And even when life feels overwhelming, His peace is greater. So when midnight comes again, I do not fear the silence. Instead, I welcome it. For I know that in the stillness, God may whisper once more. And His whisper, quiet as it may be, speaks louder to my soul than any voice this world could offer.